Did Sean Diddy Combs have the mental capacity to commit the crimes he's being accused of? Not only that, what exactly will his defense look like? According to reports, his legal team is going to make it seem like he's not this evil guy, he's just a swinger. And it looks as if the Southern District of New York did, in fact, offer Diddy a plea deal ahead of his trial.
Here we go now.
Welcome back to the Kempire channel, your number one source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. As always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. I know it's been some time since we talked about Diddy because we don't just talk about everything in reality television. We talk about everything in pop culture, and we've been covering the Sean Diddy case since it broke and since Sean Diddy Combs was arrested. As you know, there have been a lot of stories that have been coming out over the last few months and weeks and days ahead of his trial. So, of course, as we prepare to cover his trial for the next few weeks, we are giving you the latest update, including what his team is trying to paint Diddy as. So, let's first get into this whole plea deal that was being offered. And I saw this report, I think it was last week that it came out. Variety writes this. They said Sean Diddy Combs rejected a plea deal in his federal racketeering and trafficking case, as a federal prosecutor disclosed the offer during a hearing earlier last week in New York. Prosecutor Madison Smizer revealed that Combs had rejected the deal without providing any further details on what was offered, according to Reuters. They said that Combs previously pleaded not guilty to the 5 counts outlined in his case, which accuses him of using threats of physical violence and intimidation to coerce women to engage in these, quote, freak-offs. During the hearing, the judge over this case, I'm not going to butcher his name, the judge also denied the request from Combs's counsel to exclude the explosive video that showed him attacking his then girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, at a hotel in 2016. The ruling allows prosecutors to show the jury the video, which is pretty damning because even in the court of public opinion, that is what shifted a lot of people's opinions on Diddy, which caused Diddy to come out, I think the next day, to release this, quote, apologetic video. Combs' attorneys previously claimed the video was altered and therefore not admissible in the trial. Combs had previously apologized for the actions shown in the video where he assaulted Ventura and dragged her through a hotel hallway. He said in that video, "I was effed up. I mean, I hit rock bottom, but I make no excuses." I wonder if that will be included in the trial. He says, "My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in this video. They're disgusting. I was disgusted then when I did it. I'm disgusted now. I went and I sought professional help. I've been going to therapy, going to rehab. I had to ask God for his mercy and grace. I'm so sorry, but I'm committed to being a better man each and every day. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I am truly sorry." Which goes against what his legal team has been saying over the last few weeks as they've been preparing for this trial, saying that it was a mutually consensual relationship, that it was a relationship that was open, that this relationship had its ups and its downs, and they painted a very different picture. And word on the street is that Cassie will be testifying in this case. Mind you, Cassie's also months pregnant. A representative for Combs did not immediately respond to Variety's request for comment. As I mentioned before, Ventura is expected to testify at the trial under her own name. Jury selection on May 5th and opening statements are scheduled for May 12th. The trial is expected to last for 8 to 10 weeks. So this is going to be tough. So in regards to Diddy and why he may have been doing what he was doing, according to this report, they said the federal judge in Sean Diddy Combs' trafficking case dealt the rapper a huge blow on Friday, just weeks before the start of his trial. The judge denied Diddy's motion to exclude the video evidence, as we mentioned before, from the trial of the rapper physically attacking his then girlfriend, Cassie Ventura. The defense argued that the video initially published by CNN had been digitally altered. The prosecution claimed that minor adjustments had been made and noted that the person who shot the video would be testifying during the estimated 2-month trial. Well, it was surveillance video, so I'm guessing a representative from the hotel. Diddy's team also began to mount the rapper's defense against the S trafficking charges lobbed at the disgraced music mogul, claiming he was, quote, just a swinger. The argument provided by the defense comes as the prosecution revealed that Diddy rejected a plea deal offer. They said, there's a lifestyle, call it swingers or whatever you will, that he thought was appropriate because it was common, Mark Agnafilo said at Friday's hearing. Many people think it's appropriate because it's common. The judge ruled that he would allow the swingers' defense, but emphasized Diddy's legal team could not name any other high-profile individuals who engaged in the, quote, lifestyle as an example. Friday's hearing followed another blow dealt to Diddy's team last week. Judge had denied the rapper's attempt to delay the start of his trial by 2 months, which is not good. That says to me that the defense is not prepared or ready to go to trial. The defense claimed that Combs' lawyers had not had the necessary time to prepare after the government's filing of a third superseding indictment. So that was another update that you may have not heard about, that there were new charges that they brought against Diddy. The latest version of the indictment was brought against Diddy on April 3rd, and the rapper was arraigned April 14th. However, the May 5th start date of the trial remains. Prosecutors added 2 new charges against Diddy in an April 3rd superseding indictment after federal prosecutors claimed that the rapper engaged in S trafficking of a female victim as recently as 2024. He was accused of transferring the woman referred to as Victim 2 along with S workers across state lines to engage in prostitution between 2021 and 2024. When the Last Night rapper appeared in court on March 14th, he pleaded not guilty to the government's first version of superseding indictment. That version lengthened the timeline of his alleged S trafficking and racketeering behavior and added 2 more victims. The prosecution also accused the music mogul of forcing employees to work long hours by threatening them with physical and reputational harm and forcing an employee to engage in a sexual encounter with the musician. But here's the next update, and that has to do with Diddy's mental capacity. It seems as if his legal team are at this point grabbing to find something to excuse, especially because now the video footage of Cassie being harmed by him from 2016 is going to be included. That is going to be damning evidence against Diddy. So now, according to our friends over at People Magazine, they write this. They said prosecutors recently filed a motion disputing any testimony that might show that Sean Diddy Combs didn't have the mental capacity to commit the crimes that he's accused of because of the effects of drugs and alcohol. The motion, filed on Sunday, April 27th, references apparent testimony from a psychiatrist on behalf of the defense and asked the judge to prevent his testimony during Combs' trial, which is scheduled to begin with jury selection on May 5th. So according to the prosecutors, they said that the notice testimony relates to the defendant's diminished capacity to form the mens rea required to commit the charged offenses. In other words, a mental condition bearing on the issue of guilt, prosecutors wrote in the filing, which was obtained by People. Mens rea literally translates to guilty mind and refers to the mental state of a defendant. To convict someone of a crime, prosecutors need to prove that a defendant committed the crime and had a guilty mind. Though the testimony of the psychiatrist, Dr. Ellie Un, is redacted in the filing, prosecutors' arguments seem to hint that it suggests that Combs' mental capacity was affected by drugs or alcohol, which has been one of the accusations in the prosecutor's case, is that literally they have found evidence at his mansion during those searches, and during his arrest, there were reports that drugs were found as well. Prosecutors object to Un's testimony, citing a rule that states if a defendant intends to introduce expert evidence relating to a mental disease or defect or any other mental condition of the defendant's bearing on the issue of guilt, he must provide notice to the government. So they're not saying what Dr. Un is saying is incorrect. What they're saying is that they did not follow the proper protocol. The filing claims that the defense disputed that Dr. Un's proffered opinions implicated the rule in question. Combs is charged with S trafficking and racketeering. As you know, following a September indictment, he has pleaded not guilty, even though he was offered a plea deal. I wonder what that plea deal looks like. Based on this information coming out, we were never told what that plea deal included. Obviously, it probably included him serving time. Right now, he's facing life in prison. They remind us as if convicted, the Bad Boy Records founder could face life in prison. He's been behind bars since his arrest after being denied bail multiple times. I think at this particular point, they said he's been denied bail 4 times. Guys, as always, if you're not subscribed, if you do not have your notifications on, or if you're not sure if your notifications are on, or they haven't been working, be sure to turn them off and them back on. And make sure you're subscribed, because we will be covering and following this Diddy case for the next few weeks. Guys, as always, I want to know your reaction to what the defense is trying to do in regards to this Diddy case and what it looks like for the prosecutors and what they're trying to do in this case as well. And do you think that Diddy will get off? Based off of how the defense is moving right now, seems like they're not ready and they have their own concerns. It's not as if they haven't just lost an attorney and another attorney has just joined them. We shall see. We shall see. As always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. Thanks for watching.
Here we go now.